Welcome to this explainer. Picture this for a second. The mist is slowly creeping over ancient, jagged mountains. You can hear the rustle of leaves deep in a dense forest, and the rhythmic, crashing waves against an absolutely untouched coastline. Today, we're taking a step back in time. We're going way back, over 2 millennia, to explore the breathtaking, living world of ancient Tamalacam, right around 300 BCE to 300 CE. We're going to dive into how the brilliant poets of the Sangam period looked at nature. Because you see, they didn't just look around and see trees and wildlife. They saw a mirror of the human soul. Let's journey into their world.
Think about that quote for a moment. In this ancient literature, humans and animals shared a deep, unbreakable bond. The wildlife wasn't just background scenery. It wasn't just a prop. Every single creature carried profound meaning, and every landscape had its own distinct voice. These poets understood something fundamental. Humans aren't separate from nature. We are deeply, emotionally intertwined with it. To make sense of it all, the ancient Tamils mapped their world into 5 distinct landscapes. They called these thinais. We've got Kurinji for the mountains, Mule for the pastoral forests, Marutham for the fertile farmlands, Nithal for the coastlines, and Pali for the dry, harsh wilderness. But the thing is, these weren't just dots on a map. They were emotional landscapes. Each one had its own mood, its own people, and crucially, its own specific wildlife.
It's honestly staggering how precise they were. The Sangam poets were incredibly sharp observers of nature. They mapped specific animals directly to their native environments with an ecological accuracy that is just mind-blowing for the time. In the Korangi Mountains, you'd find the tiger, the elephant, and the monkey. Down in the Mule forests, the cow, deer, and elephant roamed. Over in the Marutham farmlands, the buffalo, pig, and crocodile thrived. Along the Nithal coast, the shark and marine life ruled. And out in the unforgiving Palai wilderness, the cunning fox, wolf, and tiger prowled. They knew exactly which ecosystem supported which creature.
So why document all these animals so meticulously? Well, these creatures were complex literary tools. They were literal metaphors for human emotions. A roaring tiger wasn't just a physical threat. It symbolized a lover's intense passion or a warrior's raw courage. A lonely bird calling out on the coast, that was the pure pain of separation. These verses act as undeniable evidence of their vibrant community life. But amazingly, they also stand today as incredibly detailed ecological and biological records.
Let's pull focus and head straight into the dense, thunderstorm-swept Korinji Mountains for Chapter 1, The Tiger, Valor, and Fear.
Puli. Vayama. Take just a second to let the raw power of those ancient Tamil words sink in. When the ancient Tamils spoke these names, they weren't just talking about a big cat. They were evoking an absolute apex predator that demanded total respect.
For the poets, Puli represented profound danger, absolutely. But at the exact same time, it was the ultimate emblem of immense courage, the raw wilderness, and the fearless warrior spirit. It captured that dual nature perfectly. If a poet wanted to describe the unrelenting spirit of a great king or a warrior stepping onto the battlefield, they didn't just call him brave. They compared his stealth, his movement, and his striking power to the tiger haunting the mountain passes.
But the mountains weren't all fierce storms and warriors. Shifting down from the peaks into the quiet, intimate canopy of the ancient forests, we reach Chapter 2, The Monkey, Echoes of Family.
Here we find the monkeys. And the poets actually had highly specific terminology for them. They used Munthi for the female monkey and Kudavan for the male. That level of linguistic detail really shows you just how closely they sat and observed these troops interacting up in the trees.
By simply sitting quietly and watching a mother monkey tenderly hold and carry her infant through the branches, the Sangam poets found the perfect mirror for humanity's most universal emotion, parental love. The Munthi became a powerful symbol of deep family bonds, the very essence of motherhood, and unshakable emotional attachment. Through the monkey, the poets were able to explore the gentle, nurturing side of the human heart. Now, let's transition down from the forest canopies and into the bustling, incredibly fertile agricultural plains of Maratham, Chapter 3, Buffaloes, Wealth of the Land. Down here in the Maratham landscape, the focus completely shifts to the literal engines of ancient prosperity. We're talking about Eromai, the water buffalo, and the cow. These animals were the foundational livestock of early agricultural societies. They were the muscle that plowed the fields and the primary source of vital nourishment. And this is what makes the Marutham poetry so grounded and relatable to us today. Because true wealth for these people wasn't about hoarding gold in some vault. Wealth meant hard work, it meant healthy cattle, it meant incredibly abundant harvests and a thriving community life. The buffalo stood for physical labor, agricultural mastery, and masculinity. Basically, a kingdom with strong, healthy buffaloes was a kingdom where the people were fed, happy, and thriving. To truly grasp the sheer scientific value of these 2,000-year-old literary masterpieces, we arrive at Chapter 4, Ancient Poetry, Modern Ecology. This is where it gets really mind-blowing. Centuries ago, Sangam poets were recording precise animal behaviors, seasonal migrations, and complex food chains just by observing nature. Today, modern ecology relies on high-tech scientific tracking to understand those exact same habitat relationships and ecosystems. The ancient poetic descriptions literally mirror what modern biologists are out in the field studying today. They essentially created a massive zoological and ecological database, and they hid it right inside incredibly beautiful poetry.
And this zoological index was vast. We're talking well over 50 different animals in the texts. Just to give you a taste, we see the elephant, or kaliru, representing valor and kingship. The shark, sura, embodying the terrifying dangers of the deep ocean. The crow, kakai, symbolizing the pain of separation from loved ones. The owl, kugai, echoing that feeling of deep loneliness in the dark. And the fox, nadi, representing pure cunning. Literally every corner of their world, from the sky to the sea, was carefully observed and understood.
As we wrap up our journey through the 5 landscapes of ancient Tamilakam, we reach our final chapter, the enduring bond. We're left with this profound realization about how deeply intertwined human identity used to be with the natural world. Think about it. If the poets of Sangam Tamilakam could look at a monkey, a tiger, or a buffalo and read the landscape like a diary of human emotion, what does our modern relationship with the wild say about us today? Have we completely lost that connection, or do we just need to remember how to read the landscape again? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep exploring, and I'll see you next time.